Hi, I'm Craig Hamilton Parker and I'm a medium. I've been a medium all my life. I'm also psychic, which is a slightly different thing. But I want to talk to you today about what it is to really get started with the psychic field, and in particular a guide for absolute total beginners. Now, I'm basing this little presentation, of course, here comes a plug, around my book, one of my books, called Your Psychic Powers, A Beginner's Guide. And I feel this book can really help those people that really need to get an overview of what psychic things are all about. Now, when I first started, I was a teenager and I didn't know half of what was happening to me. I was getting images, pictures, picking up things about people, reading people's thoughts, having dreams that came true, and all these type of things. And for me, it was quite difficult because there weren't, particularly at the time, I'm balding, I'm a bit older now, but when I was a nipper, it was really hard to find people that could tell you about these things or what it was all about. So a book like this would have been very helpful to me. So I thought, what would I needed to have known when I first started getting psychic impressions? And, were these me being psychic, or were these me just having fantasies or getting carried away with ideas? So Your Psychic Powers, A Beginner's Guide will take you through some of these ideas. And let me just explain a few of the ideas that are in the book, and maybe, you might gain something from this by listening to what I have to say about it. The first chapter I talk about is psychic vibrations. Now, when you start picking up on psychic things, you start to become very, very sensitive. You become sensitive to people's thoughts. You become very sensitive to the people around you. You might have had that, have you ever had that occasion where you might have been on public transport somewhere and you're thinking, oh God, that seat's free and here comes the nutcase, and some strange person comes and sits down next to you, and they're a real weirdo. And you start feeling their energy. If you're very sensitive and empathic, I'm not saying, we should be dismissive of people like that because they've obviously got their problems. But, you're picking up all sorts of strange thoughts and feelings from that person, or someone that you see, the angry man with the red face, come and sit next to you. You can feel those vibrations too, You start to develop your psychic sensitivity as you start to become more vibration aware, as it were. You feel the energies around you, the impressions that people are radiating. And in a broad general sense, we could call this telepathy. Mind-to-mind communication, because what is actually happening there is you are picking up the thoughts and feelings of that person. And now in my book I explain a lot about how telepathy works. It's not sort of like numbers and words always that are necessarily coming through to you. It might be just something like feelings, like I've just described, knowing when someone's in a bad mood, knowing when someone's in a good mood, even before you see their face. So I go into that a lot and explain all about telepathy in particular, and give some examples about telepathy, how it works, how to recognize it, how to know how it's real and so forth. This is mind reading type of thing, but not the illusionist mind reading, real picking up of sensations and thoughts. You could call it a sort of empathy. And then I talk about clairvoyance and precognition. Now there's lots of people bandy these words around. Precognition is seeing the future. So I explain about things such as, can we see the future first of all, and things like dreams and how they might open the future. Clairvoyance is another word that more or less means the same as psychic. I explain this type of thing in detail. It's clear seeing, it's visionary experiences. So it's how to see the pictures in your mind and know that those pictures are actually something that's not just coming from your dreams or just from your unconscious mind or subconscious, but actually coming from out there somewhere. So you're picking up the thoughts of other people, or people at a real big distance, So I talk about things such as, the Apollo space missions when they did telepathy tests and so forth. So I explain that in simple terms so you can get to understand what basic psychic things are and if you are actually experiencing them. I also do a little chapter on psychokinesis. Now this is really interesting stuff because it's when mind over matter, or with my big belly, mind over batter, I think we have to think about it. Mind over matter, when your mind can actually move an object. So things such as poltergeist activity, for example, that may be a spirit, as people seem to claim, or it may be coming from a person. It may be someone who's got real anger issues and everything moves around them, you know. So that's interesting stuff. And also I talk a little bit about materializations, where things appear out of nothing, and apports and this type of thing. A little bit of a simple introduction to those type of things, so you can see if perhaps you exhibit some of those type of powers, or if other people you've met have those type of powers. And I also write about mediumship and healing. Now, it's only a short book, to be honest, so it's only touched upon, but I explain to you in the book about how mediumistic powers develop. Now, mediumship is different to psychic, because mediumship is actually the ability to communicate with the spirit world. So if you can master telepathy, for example, between people, why not telepathic thoughts with those in the spirit? And again, I show you how, as mediums, we have to prove these things. You know, we have to give verifiable proof, evidence, as I call it. We have to prove it. You know, so if I say, oh, your mum's a big fat lady, and you say, oh, my mum's not big and fat, and she's not dead, you know, wrong facts, incorrect. We've got to give correct information. And I show you how that works in a medium's mind, and how you can teach yourself to become more accurate. So it's really there to start you off, get you to know about the subject, and then you can go on and perhaps, if you want, read some of my other books about psychic development and training. But this is a real good book for those just wanting the beginner's guide. It's short, it's easy to read. I write it in a fairly bouncy, cheerful sort of way. So hopefully it'll give you a good introduction. If you want to know more, you can buy the book from Amazon, of course. There's links on this video. Also, we have a website where you can ask me questions if you like. And better still, we have chat rooms where you can go and talk to a real medium and ask them some questions, all for free. It's not one of these pay-for things. And we've got forums there where you can ask questions, and you can ask questions on my articles. So I'm always pleased to see young people particularly developing their skills and getting to know these things. So, you know, hopefully this book will be for you.